Achieved with CryEngine 3. EVGA.
Hey, this is Steven from Legit PC, and today we're going to review Sniper Ghost Warrior 2, the sniper game brought to you by City Interactive. So, this particular game is great as far as the nostalgia of being an only sniper game, and we'll talk about that when we get into it. Right now I'm going to show you the video quality options. So you have a general quality, which you can set to very high or whatever, turn VSync on, and then you have your advanced qualities where you can change everything to tweak what you want it to. I would suggest just going through the advanced and not using the basic. Basic doesn't really do anything if you modify the advanced. So I suggest just jumping straight to the advanced and changing your qualities there. So yeah, now we're gonna jump into a campaign, and then it's gonna show you the little briefing stage that it has there at the beginning, and also I'll have the full clip of that here, and then you get a good idea of what the game's about. Alright, so now I'm gonna go on to the difficulty differences. So just to think about picking your difficulty before you get into the game. Expert, it will not have on your scope, it'll have a little red dot. Usually that will tell you where the drop is, and then you can line up to your enemy's head and hit him in the head. In this case, Expert doesn't have that. And in anything like medium or casual, medium will also show you where your targets are, and Expert you have to look for your targets. And in this case, I'm gonna roll with Expert, and so you know, I find out that there's no drop, right? It doesn't give you the drop estimate, so you kind of have to calculate that yourself. And also, it doesn't, in some occasions, it doesn't call out your enemies and, you know, highlight them or whatever. And because usually when it highlights the enemies, it'll put a crosshair above their head and tell you where they are and whatnot. So this is like pre-mission. This is when they give you the briefing and tell you what you're going for and whatnot.
This is a company op, Anderson.
And these are
as long as you don't fuck things up.
Throughout all the acts.
Just stick to the script.
There's a one general one, and then it shows the same one each time, but adds in different audio. It'll just show the same slideshow, but it'll have different audio.
African hemorrhagic fever. Stuff makes the Black Death look like a head cold. This morning,
now, this particular campaign, it's a pretty quick campaign. It was only about 4 hours, so the game really gets its value in the nostalgia of being a sniper and having a sniper-only co-op. I mean, not co-op, having a sniper-only multiplayer experience, as well as the nostalgia of having this interaction between your spotter and you, the sniper, which you don't have in a lot of games these days. It's pretty rare to find. I mean, most of the time you're working in a team. This one you're working with a two-man group, you and your spotter.
This is as far as we go. Keller, you and your men follow the river to the shoreline beneath the radar installation.
So next we'll take a look at the game engine and what it is about that, and I'll talk to you guys a little bit about the optimization of the game and how good the game runs on the systems. So here we have a look at the engine here. I mean, great shadows, and of course everything's on max. I'm running a 660 GTX NVIDIA card, an EVGA Signature 2 FTW edition. And I'm getting 70 frames completely maxed out. And then, you know, this will show you a little bit of environmental design. The environments are completely awesome. I love the places that you go, especially a jungle like this, almost like Far Cry or a little bit of Crisis style. You know, you have the little huts and whatnot. And of course, this is another section of the game where you're working, you know, with dispatch or Overwatch or whatever you want to call them. That you're not, in some of the portions of the game, you're not working with your spotter. And of course here you can see the problems with missing. I mean, everybody knows where you're at. If you miss, they'll sound an alarm and everybody shoot at you. But I mean, but of course the big value of the game is the interaction between you and a spotter. That's where you get the nostalgia from, not necessarily going out on your own working with Overwatch.
3-1, I got.
And the big excitement in the game are these long shots. Also, I think, you know, going through cities and stuff like they have in the game is also pretty exciting. This particular one, you know, you have shots where
There's a
like
building
I
looking
shoot
like
that
a
guy
restaurant.
up there on the
One time at least. 4 men dispatched, but
patio
they don't seem to be
on
watching
the
anything
top of the
that's
house, you know, 1,000 meters with 8 kilometers per hour crosswind. You know, really hard to do, especially on expert. Does not tell you where the bullet's going to drop, so you kind of have to calculate it on the fly, and then, you know, send it. And of course, sometimes they're walking, and you don't know when they're going to turn or whatever.
No sign of POI.
And in this particular instance, we're working with, you know, another group that you could cover, and you're trying to extract this prisoner.
Walls, northwest part of the complex.
Can you determine his status, Razor?
Affirmative. He's alive. But
So, you know, you got a lot of things going on, and you kind of get that almost realism, right? That being in the game.
Solid copy uniform. Weapons check, men. Get ready. We're crashing this party.
And of course, you go to the Barrett,
I've identified several choke
and then
points
you can
along
see
the route to
that
the
we
apartment.
have
We'll
some
coordinate
long distance
once
shots,
we
you know, 1,000 meters.
We've hit land. Proceeding to first choke point. Keller, we can cover more ground and better conceal movement if we split into 2 teams. Good one. Nichols, you go with Diaz. Gomez on me. We'll sandwich the apartment from opposite directions.
And then, you know, you can watch your squad moving up on the apartments and stuff. And I have this whole segment included in the video, so you guys can get a good idea of it.
Anderson, hold your shot.
But of course, it's got a lot of sections like this in the whole game. I think it's got about 5 in the 4 hours of gameplay. There's a lot of them, and some are easier than others. This one is one of the harder ones. I mean, there's another one that's harder, but this one is the one where you have to do a lot more shots than the other one. Some of these it won't show where the enemy's at, so it's like you have to interpret what they say. You know, they'll say 12 o'clock or whatever, and you have to interpret what they say. Otherwise, you know, you could walk right up to them and not even know where they're at. And you see here, I hit him in the hand.
He's on to us. Frag him before an alarm goes off.
And try to figure out, you know, bullets corkscrewing all over the place.
Direct hit. Up the stairs. Let's hustle.
But of course, you know, it's a long shot, and it's, you know, 8 meters a second, crosswinds to the left. Kind of gotta
Sure thing.
estimate where the bullet will drop. And of course, for some reason in games like this, I always, even if I'm close up, I'll try to compensate when it's way too close. And then you see here that sometimes it has some miscommunications and some broken spots between you and your spotter, and some parts could be really confusing and hard to pass sometimes.
Rooftop level. Can't run under their noses. Request assist.
As well as there's definitely some glitches in the game, which I have some footage of later on here.
Target 1 eliminated.
Which kind of break the experience up, but we'll talk about that more later. Oh, and here's the little bullet cam. It's awesome. You get that a lot in the game if you get good shots of long distance. It'll have the bullet cam, you know, like you saw in, like, if you play Sniper Elite or Sniper Elite V2, you get the bullet cam and stuff like that. And this particular part, it kind of calls your enemies out, which usually doesn't.
Kill confirmed. Now, eliminate the second.
All tucked neatly beneath the carpet.
I read you. Now we can do the same for the remainder. Your target is on the boat's stern. On you.
And sometimes it's kind of weird, like there's a body lying right there. He doesn't care. It's kind of weird. Yeah, there's some glitches and like some breaks in logic in this game, but overall I think it's a great experience. I enjoyed all 4 hours of the gameplay, and the multiplayer is kind of interesting. Never played anything like it, and I'll have a section of that in this video as well. And we'll talk about the multiplayer a little bit.
Chopper pilot snooping around. He saw us. Kill him quickly. Nice shot.
There you go, another bullet cam.
Got him.
Okay, south path clear. Final choke point. We can use some help with the guy directly in the building. He's looking at the courtyard. We need him alone.
Roger that.
I wish I got a double kill right here. I don't think I do.
Send it. Nice shot.
Alright, and that's the end of that portion. And we're gonna move on to some more. This is like you're by yourself, and you have no spotter and no real overwatch, so you know you kind of have to line up your shots. Of course, you see that none of them are marked out, so you kind of got to move around and manipulate your shots and make sure nobody's looking over their shoulder when you shoot them. Otherwise, they'll know exactly where you're at, and then all their buddies will come out of the buildings and attack you. So you kind of got to move around stealthily and, you know, use your binoculars, use your night vision goggles, use your infrared goggles. Infrared goggles are a great tool in this game. I used them a lot. The only problem is you can't see where your bullet hits. So if you miss, you have no clue if you're too high or too low or too to the left, too to the right, or anything. You kind of have to guess what happened. And most of the time you'll end up restarting that section from the last checkpoint because you have no clue where you're shooting at. And they alert all your buddies, and next thing you know, if they're alerted, like they'll be alerted for a next whole section sometimes. Like if there's another section right around the bend that you have to go to, and there's enemies there, they'll automatically know you're coming, and they'll shoot you right as you turn the corner. And you get hurt really easily on this game. I mean, pretty much one shot will take one bar that you see at the bottom. We'll take one bar out, so if you get hit 3 times, you're pretty much done. As long as they're good close shots. If they're not good close shots, then probably won't do. So you see there, you know, the last 2 get alarmed, but you have to just kind of take them out.
Proceeding to Overwatch.
Excellent work.
And there I get a nice 3-for-1. Just line them up, shoot all 3 of them. And this is
Next.
another one where you're working with your caller, right? And you get some good dialogue between the 2. So pretty interesting, you know.
Target obscured, no shot.
Have it your way. I got it. Hit the bell to flush him out. Worked like a charm last time.
I love recycling strategies. Practice makes perfect.
And here, you know, you have some tactics to, you know, shoot bell when the guy comes
Nice
out.
shot. Now, take him down.
Done. What now? There's still a bunch of them left.
No visible gap. All right. We have to go loud. No other way. On you.
And you see, like, the pistol's really overpowered in single player. So here's one of the glitches that you'll get. You'll see that, like, I have no gun, and no hands, and no ammo, and no nothing. Like, and then sometimes you can't break this. So you basically, even after you restart, you still get the same problem. So basically, the only thing that you have to do is you have to restart from the last checkpoint. You see, it's also kind of laggy, which is kind of weird,
press
too.
forward.
So, you know, I try to restart last checkpoint because I try switching my weapons and nothing works. And even though I restart last checkpoint, I still don't have anything. So I had to end up restarting the whole mission, which of course was just, you know, that section was just to eliminate the guys I just eliminated. But it happened that way because I died or I restarted the last checkpoint, and then all of a sudden I get a glitch to where when I come back I have no gun. And this happens in this happened to me like 3 times, which was really annoying. Especially in like a hard point of the game. And yeah, so that's the major glitch in the game, which, you know, you'll get past it. Now this is the multiplayer, and the multiplayer, I think it's got maybe 3 maps. Originally at the start it had 2, and now I think it's got more. And of course it's supposed to be really straightforward. It's supposed to be a multi-platform, multi-platform game, which means that PC could play with Linux and Mac, and you know they all could play together. You know, this isn't a cross-platform where, you know, Xbox and PC can play. That's not what it is. It's not a cross-platform. It's a multi-platform. This particular experience, I never had to. I never went through anything like this. You know, where everybody's sniping. And of course, you'll see in this multiplayer, which I only limited it to the video being 25 minutes. So you know, you got like another 9 minutes. Basically, when I went in the first time, I tried to look for people in the buildings, and that's not where they are. They're always in the brush and the dark spots. So it's kind of an experience that I've never had, where pretty much everybody's camping and everybody's got a sniper rifle. Where at some points it's the best idea to rush them with a pistol, and sometimes you get rushed, stuff like that. Of course, no one likes that. They're always like, oh, there's this rusher, or somebody's rushing like a Call of Duty game and a sniper only game. But yeah, you know, it is what it is. So this particular multiplayer, I mean, it didn't work on the first day of release. It worked like 2 days after, so it was the third day. They did a small patch and it was able to work, and this is that third day that I got to work. And of course, all my pings are bad in the game, and there's not a super lot of people playing it. But I thought it was an experience, you know, experience that you don't get in a lot of games, and something that, you know, is unique to just this game that not a lot of games have. Which, you know, I thought was pretty cool, but of course, you know, only having 2 maps, and then I think that the other map is totally not the best map. This map is the best one. The other one was is like a central part of the downtown city, and there's just way too much shadows where you'll probably never see anybody unless they fire at you or fire at one of your friends, and sometimes you can't even see them when they fire. This particular one, there's a lot of sunlight, so you get that effect off of not Unreal Engine, off of the CryEngine 3, which is absolutely awesome engine. You know, powers Crysis and stuff. That you'll see like the light bounce off their scope, and I actually have I don't know if I cut it or not, because like I said, I only cut it to 25 minutes. So but I see this guy in the grass and his lens flashes. And then I find out where he is and I shoot him, right? Which is really kind of like a nostalgia piece where it's like, wow. And of course you saw that this one's got that red drop circle that I was talking about. This particular one has it, while in Expert on single player it doesn't. And some people like it. Some people say that shouldn't be there, and you have to compensate for it. Because I guess they think that it's kind of like auto-aim, I guess, type thing. And you can see that I'm kind of lagging in this footage, but, you know, it's alright. You don't see a lot of people moving too much, so you don't really have to worry about lag as much, unless you both fire at the same time. But chances are, there's very, very little movement in this game, so it's not like you could just sit there and kind of look and see somebody move. So, you know, you kind of have to pay attention and just look over places and see where the red dot shows up at, and, you know, look for an enemy and take them out. Okay, now, so to kind of conclude the review, I think it's a great game. I mean, it's got a lot of good points about it, and it had kind of some glitches and not the best first day of release. You know, some things didn't work, and things like that. But you know, you saw the flashing right there. You know, I saw this scope flash off the sun, which was really cool. You know, but I honestly think it's a good buy, especially if you find it on sale. I mean, it was $39 to begin with for PC, or was it 39? Or was it 29? I think it was 29. It was 39 for consoles and 29 for PC. Sorry about that when I said earlier it was 39. I think it's 29. So if you find a place where it's like $10 off, absolutely great buy. I don't know how many people will be playing on the multiplayer by the time you get it. I mean, there's not a super big community behind it, but and you can see some team killing there, but team killing actually doesn't hurt you. So I mean, it is kind of annoying because they show up on your radar and then they can see you. So also another kind of bad thing about the game, but you know, no big deal. So yeah, definitely get it. It's a good buy. You know, you won't be wasting your money, and it's something to be experienced. And I hope other small developers, similar to City Interactive, create games like this with a special spin off of it, like a snipers only game, or maybe like an engineers only game, or whatever. You know, special games like this are really good for a market that's looking for something different, you know, not necessarily the next Call of Duty or the next Battlefield or whatever. They're looking for something that they never experienced before, which I personally haven't played the first Sniper Ghost Warrior, so this is completely new experience to me, you know. But of course, in all the multiplayer games that I play, you know, like Call of Duty, I'll use a sniper anyways, so I kind of familiar with it. But of course, on that, there's not as much drop. Just kind of shoot straight, and plus the maps aren't long enough. Some of the things that I wish they had is I wish they had more maps, and you know, of course, you should definitely turn up your brightness so you can see into the shadows and people won't be hiding on you and whatnot. But overall, it's a great experience. You know, fun to have other snipers on your team and multiplayer being around, and great interaction between your spotter and the sniper, you, right, Anderson and Diaz. Also, there's also some flashbacks in the game. You kind of get to establish the characters. The conclusion of the game wasn't all that great. I mean, the plot was okay. Story was great. I mean, not the story, but the actual gameplay was great to follow along. But of course, the storyline, as far as the characters, wasn't super on spot. You know, you don't really establish that kind of liking for them and that kind of thing like you do in some games. But it was definitely an experience that I enjoyed, and I think that you should experience yourself. And yeah, so that's pretty much all I have to say about it. I mean, it's definitely a playable game. Definitely something that you'll enjoy playing. You know, I don't know how long you'll play through it because the playability isn't super crazy or whatnot, but you know, you play it, enjoy it. It's cheap. You know, just try it. Alright, so the video is going to come to a conclusion here in less than a minute. So this has been Steven from Legit PC. And if you like this video, please subscribe for other videos like it. You know, software, hardware, whatever. And also, if you guys want to check out my Twitch TV channel at The Legit PC, and just search that up on Twitch. I also have a link on my homepage of my YouTube channel. And make sure you check out my website and my forums to talk about games and hardware and stuff like that at www.thelegitpc.com. Thanks for watching, guys. Take it easy.